Hey everyone, we just finished the Thanksgiving celebrations here in the US, which kind of factors into the little tale I'm going to tell here. So I have used Arch Linux before in different versions. I've used Manjaro, and most recently I had used Garuda for a little while. But I had never actually used Arch proper, the actual plain Arch install. As you may know, Arch is sort of generally considered the more adult Linux distribution in that it doesn't sort of help you through, it doesn't babysit you through all the steps. You do what you want to do and tell it what you want to have and all that kind of thing. You need to kind of be a little bit aware of what you're doing. So I had not tried it. However, a fellow worker was talking about how he has used Arch for quite a while. So I thought, well, let me give it a try. And that was precipitated also by seeing an item on Keep It Techie's YouTube channel, where Josh over there described the new Arch install script, version 3, which I thought was quite interesting. I actually did not know there was an Arch install script. I thought you had to do everything completely by hand, which is not the case. So I thought, well, let me try that and see if it works. And spoiler alert, I am recording this on a computer that I loaded Arch onto, so apparently it did work well enough to do this anyway. So essentially, you download the Arch ISO file, which is the bare bones installer and the base of the operating system. It's about a little over a gig, I think. Now, the current version as of November 28th, 2024, does not have the version 3 of the Arch installer, which is a kind of a modified version where it gives you a little bit more clear path on what you're doing. Instead of flipping through screens, it gives you it's a curses based system, which gives you a nice sort of interface. It's not a GUI exactly, but it's easier to follow than the old version. So I made a USB stick, booted up, got to a command prompt, and then kind of sat there and stared at it and went, okay, what am I supposed to do now? So I had to connect my Wi-Fi via the command line, which I confess I have not done. If I have done it before, I don't remember doing it before. So I'm spoiled by GUIs and things like that in Linux, where you just basically do it like you would in Windows or Mac. So what I had to do was use IWCTL, and IWCTL opens up its own little command line where you can put in commands and you manipulate the adapters and so on. So I did device list, which shows the name of the Wi-Fi and the adapter. I had to turn my adapter on via the command line, then scan the network, and then finally connect to my hotspot, which worked fine. So once that was done, I could exit out of the IWCTL session by pressing Control D. So I'm back to the command prompt again. And then I ran sudo pacman -S space arch install to actually pull the latest version of the script. Now this works because you're running the ISO session's running in RAM, so you can add some things to it. So once that happened, I checked to make sure it was the latest version, and it was. Then I ran it using, just type Archinstall, and it pops up, and then you go through the steps. Now, I did that yesterday in not the most ideal circumstances. I had driven 6 hours that day, 3 hours to our daughters and 3 hours back. And I'd also ate a bunch of turkey and pie and all that good stuff. So I was in a bit of a mellow glow, shall we say, from all the excess. I think I may have missed a step in the process of going through the Arch install selections. I did select the desktop, and for the profile, because you can get a profile, desktop, server, etc. I did select that. I did select, I thought, a desktop environment, but I don't think I actually did. I think I backspaced instead of pressing enter or something. I did something wrong. I'm going to blame myself. Then once installed, it did ask me if I wanted to chroot to finish setting up things. And I thought, well, I shouldn't have to. If it's already installed, I can do that later. That may have been a mistake too. I'm not sure if I was supposed to do something there or not. I'm sure Arch people are just rolling their eyes at me describing this and going, oh my Lord, what are you Oh dear, what a maroon. But anyway, I did that. We started, booted up, it's great, to a command prompt, which I was kind of expecting to see a login for a, desktop environment. So I typed start X, to start the X server, which is what I would usually do in a situation like that, and nothing happened. So I thought, okay. Well, it basically told me X wasn't there, so I thought, well, yeah, that's weird. So I went to the Arch wiki on the phone, looked up, install GNOME, went through the steps there, which I realized I must have missed somehow in what I was doing, which is basically you install Xorg, which is just as easy as doing sudo, pacman-s xorg-server. It'll install Xorg, and then I installed GNOME, sudo pacman-s GNOME. Then I had to install the display manager. So all these little things you don't think of when you're just using a distro like Linux Mint or something. So I installed GDM, the display manager, sudo pacman-s GDM. And then once I did that, I had to start the GDM service using systemctl. So it's basically sudo systemctl enable base -- now space gdm.service. As soon as I did that, I got a login prompt. So I logged in, was looking at GNOME. I'm thinking, oh, okay, that worked. Restarted once again, got back in. Everything was there. Sound worked. So I also had to install Network Manager via Pacman. I had to start the service. Then I also installed the graphical user interface part for it, which is nm-connection-editor. Then a system tree applet, which is network-manager-applet, which gives you the little symbol up on the top right, so you can see that your network's connected. So that's all the kind of stuff that you don't think about when you're installing a finished quote-unquote distro. But again, this gives you the flexibility to do whatever you want when you're setting these things up. So long story short, I know it's too late for that now, but I did manage to install Arch, and I felt a little chuffed at that. I was had a little bit of a glow. Well, that may have been the tryptophan kicking in from the turkey, but I definitely felt good about that. I installed Arch. It's plain, it's vanilla. I still have more stuff to add to it, but it is working. I was able to record this on it, and I'm going to use it for a little while, see what it's like. The guy at work swears by it. He loves it. So we'll give it a try. Hey, thanks for spending time with me. Hope it wasn't too boring. Hope it helped a couple of people. And for all the Arch users out there, I'm so sorry. Take care. Bye-bye.